All right, everybody, welcome to the Omaha Beach Coaches Show.
And when you're playing indoor football, that timing is everything.
Now we got some things to talk about.
It's really excited with the partnership with Mike and the entire staff down here at Let It Fly.
Right, and it's something he's got to see.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome, Let It Fly Sports Bar. It is a postseason Coaches Show. We're still here.
We're still here.
Keep playing. Well, we knew we'd get one game. It looked
Right.
pretty good.
Right.
Good thing about the National Arena League, it's a two-game postseason. You win one, you go to the championship game. And for Omaha, that's the expectation. Let's be honest. We've seen the things that Omaha's done throughout the season. That's what it's all about. It's about winning championships.
Yeah.
They've won 3 in the last 4 years. They've gone to championship games for, I lose count, right? We're looking for 5 in a row now.
Long time.
And, and maybe even host a championship game if everything falls into place. But what we are dealing with is a postseason game next week. And guess what? It's in Omaha.
Home game.
Never in doubt. Todd Walker's Jason Miller, head coach.
Right.
Brandon DeGrone will join us shortly. And, it's indoor football. That's what everybody loves about it. If you follow it, you never know what you're going to see. They expected a good game out of Colorado. They've got great athletes out there. They performed out there and came down to the last play of the game. You'd expect nothing less.
Crazy.
End of day. And we'll try to compile it here and whatever, but I'll be honest, somehow Omaha ends up victorious 35-34, and that first-round playoff game is coming to the Slaughterhouse, and there's nothing Beef fans would like more than that. They got their wish.
You've been doing this a lot longer than I have. This
longer.
is my second season with the Beef, and every game something happens that you say to yourself, I've never seen that. I mean, you think you've seen it all, and I know you felt like you've seen it all being in the game a lot longer than I have, but every single week, it seems like we see something, whether it be at the end of the game, you're up 16-0, you feel like this game is over, they're going to cruise, and then all of a sudden, Colorado gets the lead, they're ahead at halftime. I mean, when you when you think you have things figured out, it goes the complete opposite direction many times.
I will tell you what I have learned in all the years of indoor football, and I've done a lot of years of outdoor football.
Oh, yeah.
Now, outdoor, it is the same to a certain extent. It's never over, right?
Right.
But it's concentrated or exponentially more in indoor.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, we have seen things that happen after the 1 minute warning, those last 60 seconds. We've seen multiple scores. We've seen 5 scores. We've seen, whatever. It is never over when it comes to indoor football.
No.
And we saw that here. And when we bring the head coach in here, I think if you happen to see the game on Saturday or if you're at the game, we had some good amount of fans out there at the game, too.
Yeah, traveled well.
Out in Denver. The amazing thing, and we were watching it, right? Mm-hmm. I'll be honest, they look good for a while,
No.
And there were points that it even looked like that you kind of feel, man, that hole might be a little too deep, But you keep playing, it's one play at a time, you go out there, and what I love the most about it? Came down to kicking. I don't want to show the highlights. You know that because you're supposed to make a kick when I send you out there. You're supposed to do that, right?
Sure.
But what we've talked about, if you listen to our broadcasts, is these teams that come into these leagues, they don't have kickers on the rosters.
Yeah.
They don't even do the kicking game. That's not football. You're not going to go anywhere.
No.
This was 2 teams with, let's just be honest, 2 exceptional kickers. I mean,
100%.
Both kickers make deuces in this game. Both are making field goals in this game. Both are making and missing a couple extra points. Extra points, place kicking isn't all on the kicker.
Right.
But, that's part of it. It should be big plays and who comes up with them. And there are plenty of them, and we're going to unpack it here tonight.
Yeah, we were watching the game, the Beef go down, score easily. Taylor, scores not a big effort to tackle him. It gets to 16-0, and you and I were like, boy, this might not be as good a game as we thought it might.
They're going to roll him, obviously.
Then there's a key 4th down stop that we maybe thought was a first down, but then it wasn't. And then after that, the entire first half completely changed.
It did change the tone, the atmosphere of the game. I'll speak for it before the coach gets here. I don't want him to get fined, but oh my God. I've watched this a few times. Not quite sure. Heard some stuff on the conversation. Still don't understand what happened there, but, calls sometimes don't go your way. I will leave it at that. That is part of the big picture. Mm-hmm. You have to overcome adversity, and Omaha saw a lot of adversity out of Colorado. They saw adversity. They saw a good team. They saw a pretty good pass rush, I'll be honest. If there's something that they're going to have to correct, same two teams this week at the Slaughterhouse, they're going to have to figure out how to give whichever quarterback's in the game, maybe both, who knows, that'd be special, a little more time. It seemed like Colorado came with their ears pinned back most of the game. We'll talk to the coach about that. But, that's what you expect in a game that's this big, right? Mm-hmm. Guys playing ball out every play, and we saw the effort on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, and the other thing that I thought Colorado did a good job of was accounting for the quarterback in the run game. There were a couple times where Tommy wanted to keep it and get downfield, and they always had that spy. They always had the quarterback accounted for, in that run game. So that's going to be an interesting dynamic since we're playing the same team, 6 days from now.
Same two teams, but it's in the Slaughterhouse. The winner goes to the National Arena League Championship game. It's going to be the winner of the Beaumont and Columbus game, which is on the American Division, right?
Yeah.
This is the National Division. That's the American Division. If Columbus were victorious, and they've beat Beaumont already, Omaha would host that championship game for the 3rd straight season.
Yeah.
That'd be fun, right?
I mean, who would be happy about that?
Who?
Ricky.
Ricky would like that.
He would love that.
I don't think he'd be against that.
No, he would not.
We'll see what we can do.
He's going to be watching the Beef game closely, obviously, but he might also have an eye on that game that's going on in Beaumont as well.
We're going to come back here. I think we got some highlights that we're going to share with you from an exceptional game.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, last Saturday night, and then we're going to focus on the game next Saturday. We're going to bring the head coach up here too. Side note, though, we had the TriCast going. We had all 3 NAL games going at the same time. We had Wheeling and Columbus, and then we had Boeing against that semi-pro team, whatever the hell's going on down there. But I'll tell you what, if you did not get a chance, and we know a lot of these guys, Wheeling, oh my gosh, what was it? We're looking at that. Okay, that game's over. There's 16 points and down. It's like 90 seconds. All of a sudden, it's tied up, and then they're going to overtime. Hats off to those competitors as well. But, Columbus, they're getting ready for the playoffs. They do move on, but Wheeling, hats off to them, ending their season on a high note.
Yeah, I mean, really had nothing to play for. But
they had something.
But they played till the last whistle and ended up pulling off a stunning comeback in overtime.
Anyways, that's indoor football. That's why we love it. That's where we're going to come back. We're going to talk about it. It is postseason. We're getting ready for the playoffs. Regular season is over. It's do or die now. We'll come back. We will look at the highlights from the last regular season game against Colorado Spartans. This is the Omaha Beef Coaches Show. We are at Let It Fly in downtown Omaha, our home all season long. Love it down here. It's fancy.
It
look
is
at this.
fancy.
Man, they got TVs everywhere.
Very
This is
fancy.
fun stuff. So we'll come back. We will catch you up on the highlights. You're watching the Omaha Beef Coaches Show at Let It Fly. We'll be right back. Go Beef. Oh, you did one. Hey, welcome back. Let It Fly Sports Bar. Jason Unger, Todd Walkenhorst, end of the regular season. Closest game of the year, obviously, for Omaha. They were victorious, and, man, we got some highlights, I assume,
Yeah, we do.
of this game.
Yeah.
And I know how this thing's going to finish. I can't wait. But you want to take us through it?
Yeah, let's do it.
35,
Let's
34,
let's go through the offensive highlights. We've got 5 TDs, and we've got a kicker highlight.
Oh, I love kicker highlights.
And that's why Katie put it in the package for us.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
That
Denver,
looks
Colorado.
familiar, by the way.
Beautiful this time of year, of course, in Denver. Tommy Armstrong throwing a strike to Jordan Barton in the end zone.
That wall did come
kind of
up
led
quick,
him a little bit into the wall, but
hang on.
it was 6 points nonetheless. And here goes Champ Taylor shaking tackles.
What is this early?
breaking
We're going out of
tackles.
order. What's going on here?
That's all right.
Okay.
We're back to the first quarter now.
First
This
quarter.
is when we thought the game was going to get out of hand because the Beef
We're
just rolling on that opening drive.
Now we're to the fourth quarter.
Yeah, this is going to be something that coaches don't really love to see, is that ball going across the field like that. But
We did.
it worked out pretty well because Double K catches the touchdown pass, and of course, moments later, the Beef end up winning the game. This is going to be another touchdown run by Tobias Taylor. Again, just shucking guys on his way to the end zone. Good game for him, 40 yards and a couple of touchdown runs. Going to go back to the air
first
for this
quarter again.
one.
Love it.
Yep, Zoe Brown
Family night.
getting the ball out to Conliff, who takes 2 guys into the end zone with him to add to the Beef lead. And this
Here we go.
This is what we've been waiting for. Under a minute left, missed extra point leads to the dramatic deuce.
The biggest deuce in Beef history right there.
Right there. Splits the uprights in the thin air of Colorado. And just like that, the Beef come away with the 1 point.
I like the random highlights. You just don't know where we're going. We got to be on our toes. You know, we got. They're trying to see if we actually watched the game, knew what we were looking at.
Right.
We were, but in all seriousness, though, oh my gosh, it's little things, and when you get into big games like this, you know, I worked in the NFL for several years. I want to say 70-75% of those games, because they're competitive.
Yeah.
There's 3 or 4 plays that you can look back in any game
Exactly.
that would decide a game.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's a dozen plays in this game.
There were
Right?
a lot of plays in this game that you could say were turning points.
There were calls. Mm-hmm. I don't want to start with that, but I'll put it out there. There's some calls that, you know, could have probably changed some things. There were plays on 4th down. You had defenses and offenses making plays. And then again, I'll admit it when it happens, because it's great when it happens. That kicking game really came down to it. You look, it's a 1-point game, right?
Yeah.
You got guys making field goals. You got guys missing extra points. You got guys making deuces.
And it was on both sides.
Both sides, back
you
and
know,
forth.
kind of dueling back and forth. So,
needless to say, the 2 best kickers we've seen in the league, hats off to them. We're going to see them again this week. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't need to be as close, but I do appreciate watching a full effort by all 3 sides of the ball.
yeah, absolutely. A lot of times we have games where, you know, the other team doesn't even have a kicker. So
Yeah,
in this game, we had
my feelings on
situation where both teams have good kickers. You never know what's going to happen on kickoffs, extra points. And, it came down to the Beef needing a kick there with less than a minute left to win that game.
How clutch is that? I mean, think of that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, all you got to do is put it between this 10-foot, 58 yards away. Mm-hmm.
With the game on the
after you just
line.
missed the extra point, not to say it was his fault, but you did
You're
work
right,
out, right?
right,
Just
right.
now, just put it up there, take care of it, right? Clutch again.
kind of remember, and we'll bring Coach.
We'll talk about it.
We'll bring Coach in.
I got a whole list of things that Jason thinks that Coach screwed up during the game. We're going to ask him about it. We'll come back.
I go for 2 there.
We'll talk about
Then
it.
you kind of take the kicking game out of the equation on the road.
We're discussing it, but we were
win.
also in a different place. So we'll talk about it when we come back.
Yeah.
Enough of the highlights. Let's get to the coach. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll bring in the head coach, Brandon DeGrone. I'm sure he can't wait to talk to you when we come back. It's the Omaha Beef Coaches Show right here at Let Fly Sports Bar, live Monday nights. Hopefully next Monday too.
Yeah,
I assume so.
could be
We'll just
another
plan
one.
on it. We'll just write it in.
We'll be here.
back right after this. Welcome back to Let Fly Sports Bar. We overlooked the defensive highlights because they were all over the place.
Well,
the kicker in there, I thought we had them all.
That was kind of my fault.
It was your fault.
I had a little sheet.
I know it was not my fault.
Yeah.
I'll
take the heat for it. I'll take the heat for it. Let's go to the defensive highlights, shall we?
Yeah, do it.
Going to start with a tipped pass here. Colorado going to the air, going into the end zone, and that was a great play.
How many?
TDG going up to knock that one away. A couple beef defenders were in the vicinity there.
How many Colorado fans do you think try to listen to this game on 1620 The Zone?
We were wondering about that.
You know,
another pass deflection by Jonathan Adams. The secondary held up pretty well. A couple breakdowns on a couple of touchdown passes, but for the most part, I thought the secondary played pretty well throughout the night. This is going to be an extra point attempt. Bad snap. They tried to go with a fire call, and they got stuffed short of the goal line.
Real bad fake.
So the 2-point conversion fails. We're going to see this. We've seen this many times this year. A tip pass by Jayshon Washington. He gets his hands up in the passing lane and tips the ball away. So that resulted in a third down for Colorado. They were stopped on that drive. And this is going to be a sack. Rock Rahman coming in untouched, sacks the quarterback for the Spartans. And then the last defensive highlight we have here, comes in the third quarter, the beef down 4. This is going to be a gang tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Rockman and DeAnthony Hall steal in on that stop there.
You do not usually see opposing teams honoring the other team's dance teams on their field. That's awesome.
No, you don't.
Pretty cool, right?
Pretty cool.
Defensive effort, all three sides of the ball, big game. And I got to finish this real quick. Hang on here. I had booked
What are you doing?
I got a Southwest flight to Denver. I got booked. I got canceled.
my
Apparently, I don't need this now. I get rid of this here. Go ahead, Coach. Apparently, I'm not traveling this week. How are you?
I'm good.
How'd you enjoy the game?
You got to get those points back.
I didn't get those points back.
There was multiple emotions throughout the game.
Let's start with the one at the end. I'm not going to look over there, but let's start with the one at the end.
Yep.
We talk about it all the time. We talk about indoor football. It's a normal adversity of football, which there's a lot to begin with.
Yep.
But then there's always sometimes other things that are thrown in there. You got to work through it all, right?
Yeah.
End of the day, this is a testament to it. Tell us, we'll start at the end. How do you feel? And tell us.
So, I feel great because I put a lot of value in the kicking game. And I think
we've talked about that. I joke about it, but seriously,
I've had a lot of good kickers, man. Caleb Shudak's going to be right up there. Biggest deuce in probably team history, if you think about it.
Correct.
I had no doubt. My facial expressions on the sideline may tell you otherwise, but I knew from contact that it was going through. He had been practicing pregame and been hitting him pregame. And it's Caleb Shudak, man. He's the best kicker in the league. He's going to win Special Teams Player of the Year when this is done.
I wish I could have seen your face, not only when he made the deuce to put you up 1, but when the kick was blocked. I wish I could have seen your face on that extra point that was blocked.
Well, you would have seen a lot of anger because there were rules broken there. And again, I'm going to be cognizant of...
I'll say it for you. You want me to say something for you?
Go ahead.
There's illegal defense, a little illegal leverage, jumping over lines, but just,
And again, look, I don't want any fines, and it doesn't matter. We won the game, but, I do want officiating to get better. I'll just leave it at that.
That's fair.
My cancellation of Denver was successful.
It's a good decision. Good decision.
Good. We're all good. We'll use those at a later date.
Yeah.
Let's go through the game, though. In all seriousness, there's some things. Again, we were talking about, when you play good, and you've coached for a long time at all levels, when you play competitive football, it comes down to little things. That's the best thing to be, right? That's when you're playing good competitive football. Let's talk about, though, we'll go through it. First couple drives, things are going your way. You're literally, it feels like running over guys. You're feeling pretty good. You're up 16-0. Again, you drop a deuce on them, too. Everything's going your way. Talk about that first quarter, and obviously you also script plays, right?
Yeah.
The script's going well.
First drive is always scripted, right? So if you watch our games, the first drive, they only have to come to me one time. We talk about where it is from a hash mark perspective, and then we roll from there, right? So they have the plays. They know what they're doing. You talk about decision making, right? How decision making impacts the game. Well, we were rolling. Zoe had 2 really good drives. Tobias was running downhill. We had the pass to Dev that was scored a touchdown. And then I made a decision to give Tommy Armstrong an opportunity to play some
So we're going to go through these decisions. I mean, because again, we like to get inside, not question, but talk about it.
Yeah.
Go to quarter number 2.
Yep.
This is a decision obviously made before the game.
Yes.
I assume, right?
Yes.
That's the plan.
The
Both quarterbacks know that.
Yep.
This slappy over here goes, if you get 2 quarterbacks, you don't have 1 quarterback. But I'm like, this is like having Manning and Brady, right? I'm going to do it, right?
Yeah.
So you're working it out, but obviously it's his first playing time this year.
No.
Talk us through, though, bringing him in.
So I agree with Jason's statement. If you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have 1, except when you have 2 MVPs.
This might be
Right.
a little bit.
Yeah, there's a little different. And,
Yeah.
all the time that I've been here, I tell you guys I'm coaching for the Yankees, right? So I've got Mariano Rivera sitting on the bench.
Right.
The plan was to go with Tommy on the 3rd drive. I think that as a coach, you get excited when you've got, again, 2 elite level quarterbacks. Yes, I got a plethora of options. I think we got a little cute. I think we got a little out of the game plan, right? And if I'm being frank with you, I haven't coached Tommy before, so I'm learning the game plan. I'm learning what works within our offense with this version of Tommy Armstrong.
So
right?
let's talk about the second quarter, a couple of things. First quarter as well.
Yeah.
Pass rush for Colorado is obviously phenomenal. Something
Very
we're
good.
going to work on.
Yep.
Obviously this week is picking that up.
Yep.
Giving a little more protection to whoever is taking the snaps, right?
Yeah. And I think, you talk about that. We went away from that. Wasn't the game plan. The game plan was always to keep some extra protections in.
Do it max. How do you do max protect with 3-man line?
you don't. And then,
running
you can leave it back, right?
Right.
And then you look at, they had made some roster decisions. I'm talking about Colorado, that when I saw who they were dressing, it changed my mindset a little bit. Corey Henry didn't play, right? He's a D tackle. So I'm like, okay, all right, this is a little different than I expected, right? So you get a little bit more risk oriented when you see one of the better D linemen in the league not playing, right? Again, this was good for us, right? Guys, this was really, really good for us.
Winning, it's good.
Winning is always good.
But
when you're down 27-16 to start the 4th,
never good.
That's never good. But to see my guys basically score 19 unanswered is a pretty good testament to who we are.
So back to the second quarter. Let's talk about 4th and 3. We talked about this call. I've watched it over and over. I've actually talked to some officials. I don't understand what happened, but whatever it is, it changes the game a little bit because they score a touchdown 3 plays later.
Yeah, and even before that, Todd, if you look, how I am about empty possessions. I gave the ball back to Colorado pretty deep in our own territory.
That's the next one.
Yeah.
It's on the list.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that.
Right.
It's 4th down.
Yep.
I think you're to a -9. We're like, he's kicking. He's got a good kicker. Did you just get a little? I mean, it's emotion at that point.
It's emotional.
Like,
I should have kicked it. I absolutely should have kicked it. But again, I have a lot of confidence in my offense, right? So it's hard sometimes to take him off the field because I believe wholeheartedly, anything 5 yards or less, we can get a first down anytime we want.
4th and 9.
Yeah.
Or no, it's 4th and.
It was 4th and 6. 4th and 6, right?
But you're -9.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, it's a yard, right? You want to do analytics?
It's awesome.
Right. And that's right. And we have specific plays that we run in those situations that most of the time we were, 85 to 90% efficient.
You obviously don't get the look though on that play.
No, they played it really well. The DB played it really, really well, and we wound up giving the ball deep in their own territory.
Something else I was going to ask you about was I thought that Colorado really did a good job taking the quarterback run away. I don't know how many specific quarterback runs you called in that game, but there were a couple times when you could tell Tommy wanted to do something with his feet, and man, they were waiting. They seemed to be really well prepared.
So this is the balance, right? Because I am not a guy that likes the quarterback to run, right? But we all know what Tommy Armstrong is. And look, if you look at Lorenzo Brown's highlights over his career, Lorenzo Brown runs his own read as good as anybody, right? But my goal was to keep the guys upright. And we have a great running back room. We got Tobias Taylor, we got David Ross. Those are the guys I want running the ball. So we didn't call a lot of zone runs, or zone read runs. When we did, they played it great. I mean, Sam Hammond, Cooper, I think they had Jack Robinson in the D tackle this week. Asias Gandy, they all play that really, really well. So they game plan for it. You can see that.
Let's talk about the rest of the first half. Next time you get the ball, you go 3 and then throw an interception down there. I'll say it for you. Down by contact, apparently they don't understand that rule. I don't know what the hell's going on. You have to waste a challenge and whatever.
Well, I'd look at the pick, too.
Yelling at them,
if you look at the interception, if you look where Dev high pointed the ball, Dev Collins can catch that 9 out of 10 times, right? So that's the touchdown.
And you take that chance. It's the same as whatever. Ironically, Colorado has the ball with a good field goal kicker. Timeout. Time expires. We'll leave it at that. We get to halftime. Second half. What are you doing at halftime now? Because things aren't probably going quite the way you thought. You have a great first quarter. I mean, momentum's there. You bring in, obviously, one of the best players in the game as well. You got both of them. And now you find yourself in.
So, and this is where, I'll say it publicly, I always owe a little bit of an apology, right? Because we start the second half, I start him. When you're a veteran, especially in the I know he won't be happy to hear this, but he's at the tail end of his career. I mean, I think everybody knows that. You get in a rhythm, right? So when you're taken out of the rhythm and then asked to kind of restart the car, it doesn't always work. And I just think that's what you saw in the third quarter. We tried to do some things in the running game to make that easier. And it just didn't work out. And they're up 27-16 at the end of the third.
Coming in the second half, defense plays good. First stop, I know I love, because I say this to you, you already know all this, right? Yeah. You've been replaying the game since you played the game. But you stop them, they have a 4th and 2.
Yep.
Big stop by the defense right there. Sets the tone a little bit for the second half.
Absolutely. The defense continues to be elite, guys. I still think that our defense is the best in the league. The stats prove that. And that's one of the advantages, when you ask me about decision making, Todd, sometimes I make decisions knowing that I've got these guys, that are going to probably get me the ball back, 3 out of 4 times, all right? So
you get the ball back, you're in good field position, you're at the 20, 4 plays, and you think you have a first down, but all of a sudden fumble forward, guess not, right? We've seen this before. You're not going to challenge that at this point. I don't remember if you still have
I think I did.
Or did you challenge
I think
that?
I did. I lost.
Was that what you challenged?
It was an interesting explanation.
I heard about this, and I'll be honest, we won't get into it, but I don't understand it. And I've worked in NFL officiating. I've worked in all of. I ran officiating in this league.
No,
I don't understand it.
Look, if I love my B family and my bench, but if I got as animated as they want me to when we get a bad call, I would never be coaching again.
Well, you would be coaching this Saturday,
right? And I have to think about those things. Right?
Yeah,
but we've talked about this before. It's temperament, right?
It is.
Because if you lose it, then everybody
loses it, and I absolutely believe that the team follows the lead of their coach's emotions. I think you could say that on both sides of the football field.
It's unfortunate, though, because Colorado then gets the ball back, goes down the field, gets a touchdown. They're in pretty good control. You go 4 and out again. We go to the fourth quarter. Let's talk about the fourth quarter. It's not... I never had any doubt, but Jason's like, they may not win this game. I'm like, oh, whatever.
Did I say that?
I think you did.
Maybe.
Talk about going to,
I don't believe that.
Talk about going to Q4. What do you think players?
I said to the guys what I always say: we control our own destiny. We don't leave results in the hands of the other team. And that group of guys that's sitting downstairs, I'll go into a fourth quarter with them on any day. Look, again, I said this, I think, my first coach's show, and I'll say it now. Everybody forgets that those are the champs down there, right? So they've gone through adversity before 2 times. Yeah. They've gone, and 3 out of the last 4. They've gone through adversity before. I said a few minutes, this was good for us, man. This is really good for us. All the confidence in the world. And again, credit to both my QBs. I've got 2 guys that are brothers that believe in each other. We went with Tommy in the fourth. He gave us a spark. He got us the quick score out the gate. I think we scored the first drive where we came out on the second play of the drive. And then we got the 2-point conversion, but had us at 27-24. And I'll be honest with you guys, I don't want to sound overconfident, but once it was 27-24, I felt good about what the end result would be.
So we're going to the fourth quarter.
Yep.
You stop them. You're doing pretty good defense. They go for a field goal.
Yep.
They select a hash that are fake. Can't do that. So that's a
Yep.
mental breakdown on them. You take advantage. You score back to shootout.
Yeah.
But 38-yard field. That's not something to just take for granted.
No doubt in my mind that he was going to hit it. Yeah. What he was doing in pregame was a really good indicator of how his kicking game was going to be. And I mean, you have to, right? You're down 3. You have to. You can't leave points on the table. And at that point, guys, we had already had 4 empty possessions. I wasn't going to have a 5th. So
this is where it gets interesting. Colorado, they're responsible for a touchdown. They go right down the field to get in 4 plays. You get it back, 32 yards up. Now Armstrong can't play it all year, right?
No.
He's starting to find some rhythm, whether it's Brown or Armstrong.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're going to try to figure out how to find that for whatever you're going to do this week. You finish off a touchdown. He keeps second guessing you, but it's 34-33. Now let's talk about this. You go for the extra point there. I know you got a kicker. There's so many things in indoor. My thought was a little bit, again, I don't know anything, but you go for 2, you have 2 chances to take the lead on the road. What was your mindset going in there? And it's 50-50.
Any other game, in any other scenario, on the road, you go for 2. I wanted to ensure that we were going to play extra football in the event that it went to that, right? So I'm not thinking about the deuce, right? Because that's, if I'm thinking, if you go for 2, you're automatically telling Caleb mentally, if we don't get it, you have to get the deuce, right? What I'm telling Caleb now is hit the extra point, tie the game, and then, oh, by the way, if you hit a deuce and we're up 36-34, we got double the benefit out of it.
So what I'm sure you're not thinking of is he misses the extra point.
No.
He misses it, but it's blocked.
Well, and you have to remember, guys, if you look at his, since I've gotten here, and I don't think this is a credit to me, I think this is a credit to Coach Albino and the work we do during the week. Caleb is about 30 for 32 since I got here on extra points, right?
So he does get blocked.
Yep.
There's some stuff that went into that. We'll leave that there. So now talk about, obviously, you're telling him to hit a deuce. You don't even have to tell him.
I didn't say anything to him.
Okay.
I walked right past him. Gave him a little
And he knows
5.
what to do.
He knows what to do.
And, I mean, just like a golfer hits that drive right down the fairway.
I'm
right?
probably the only person in the stadium that did not watch it go through.
You didn't?
No, I had my head down the whole
You
time.
heard
He
it,
watched the tape. I heard it. I knew when he kicked the ball where it was going. It sounded
had a
like
different sound to
a rocket coming off his leg.
And you still had on defense, stop him, but, talk about that, though. I mean, we don't see a lot of game winning or go ahead deuces, but that's a...
No, but I just think, again, it's a testament to the importance of the kicking game, and I think it's great for the game, right? Like,
I do too.
that's a great ending to a football game. That's not what I want regularly. My heart can't handle that. But, imagine the teams that don't have a kicker that can't go into a kickoff with any kind of confidence whatsoever.
Follow that up. I know we probably got deeper than most football fans casually, but okay, now there's a personal foul on the play. Either way, the advantage of the deuce is bad field position too. On top of it, right?
Yes, they got the ball at the 2.5 yard line.
It's up at the 2.5.
Yep.
They do move it out to midfield.
They do.
And they got a good kicker.
They do.
That's what you want to see, right?
Yeah, I would have liked our defense to put them in a position where going for the, kind of on the field when a kicker's taking a field. Right. But that's still a deep kick, man, and it's a game ender, and there's a lot of pressure in that.
Were you watching that one?
Yeah, I watched it.
Okay. All right.
I watched that.
All right.
Yeah.
So
what I was really watching for is our defensive discipline. I told the guys before that setup, make sure you shade it to the ends. Make sure we're not doing what they did on the extra point. We can't leap over the line, things like that. So it's about discipline, and we did that.
we're going to take a quick timeout. Stay for the next segment.
Yeah, sure.
We'll talk about the same 2 teams next week.
All right.
What are we going to do differently?
Yep.
I mean, at least win by 1. That's all I got to do.
That's
I'll
right.
Score by 1.
That's right.
We'll be back. Playoff football. Head coach right there. Coaches show. You have to have the coach. Brandon Agrone. Let it fly. Postseason, baby. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Let It Fly. Postseason edition. Same two teams. It's coming up this Saturday, obviously at home. It's going to be a bigger crowd. I can say that. It's going to be a louder crowd, at least for Omaha. Coach, it's always difficult, though, playing the same two teams 2 weeks in a row. And, of course, in any level of football, beating a team 3 times.
3 times.
Yeah. Right?
Well,
now, it's different teams, I think, on both sides of the ball than what we've seen. But I think the thing that, is key here is both teams are probably playing their best football at the right time at the end of the year. And, again, it's a one-point game. Talk about what you want to adjust and what you're – don't give away anything, but what's going to be different? What do you want to do differently?
Well, I think what's going to be different is I expect a couple of guys that didn't play for Colorado to play. I was surprised to not see Andre Sale. I was surprised, obviously, not see Corey Henry. I'd be surprised if they didn't play. That's no slight on Khalil Trotman. I thought he played a great game at QB, but Sale's a starting quarterback, right? So I'm expecting that. Look, every game I've ever coached against Fred Shaw coached teams are competitive and physical. I expect that to be the same. I just want to remind everybody that we're physical too, and we're going to continue to be physical and dominate both sides of the line of scrimmage. My job this week is to look at what worked and enhance it, look at what didn't work and either take it out or replace it with something else. Want to keep the quarterbacks upright. I also going to manage this QB system better, right? This was
change this week, or
Lorenzo Brown's our starting quarterback. Let me be very, very clear on that. He is our starting quarterback. He's got 15 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He leads or is in the league lead in every statistical category for quarterbacks, and he's got us here, right? So we'll continue with that. But again, I'm not going to apologize for having Tommy Armstrong on my bench, right? So if the scenario dictates that we have to bring Tommy in, we will, and we'll do what we have to do. I have the utmost confidence in both guys.
You have a kicker on the roster.
We have a great kicker on the roster, right?
Coach, you've been doing this a long time. You've been coaching a long time. Talk about how the demeanor of the team changes practice week prior to a playoff game as opposed to a regular season game.
Well, when you're coaching the champs, it doesn't, right? So in Omaha, we've been practicing like it's the playoffs and championship game all season long. I think where coaches, this is where I let the players kind of tell me what direction are we going, right? So, we've set a standard. I say this all the time, guys. Coaches set the standard, players dictate the culture, right? So these guys want to win. They've created a winning culture here. They know what they have to do, right? We don't have to tweak the culture or the standards of practice, whatever. We have to tweak the game plan, right? So that's what we're going to do. And we were just talking about that downstairs. We're going to do some things in practice that I think will enhance both sides of the ball, kind of change things up without overthinking. That's the other thing, Yes, it's the playoffs. I'm not discounting that by any means, but we've won 5 games in a row. We went 8-1. Maybe what we're doing is working, right? We just got to continue to enhance and build off of what we've done so far.
Absolutely. And I think if you do that, you're going to come out on top, especially playing at home. Talk about the dynamic of playing at home. That's
the biggest advantage we have, guys. You don't come into Omaha and push us around. You don't. So, I'm not one to guarantee victories and things like that. I'm not doing that. But, anytime you give me a home game with this team, with these fans, with this group, with all the support we have behind us, good luck to whoever has to visit here. And, we're excited about playing in front of our fans.
Do you feel the altitude we played in Denver? Do you feel like you saw that all?
I feel it when Caleb Shudak's kicking balls, and they'd be good from 80, right? Mm-hmm. He had 2 deuces, and both of those deuces would have been good from, I think, another 10 yards.
I think he was talking, there's 5 to 7 yards just
now
from there. Now, that's 10% of the field.
The offset of that, right, is the guys get gassed, right? Our D-line was tired, right?
About.
Yeah. So, I think you'll see a little bit different, just overall the ability, some stamina, right? I think it eats into your stamina and your ability, and you only have so many guys on the bench, right? So you can't substitute nonstop. So there's a little bit of difficulty with that. So that's another advantage to coming home.
What's the one thing you do better this week?
Stick to the game plan. Not get overly excited about making an adjustment just to say you made an adjustment. Sometimes what you're doing works, right? And you stick with that. And again, just be physical. No empty possessions. We've been talking a long time. 4 empty possessions is I can't even put into words how unacceptable that is.
35, 34. I mean, if you take those points in general, now it's a good team. I don't want to discount, but I just know in general, you think you're going to score more than 35.
Absolutely.
And you think you're not going to give up 34.
Correct.
So, I mean, on both sides of the ball, you feel like you need to, do a little better.
Right. And I mean, just based off of what you just said, if we look at kind of what our averages have been, right? So we've been holding teams to around 20. And our norm is 2 empty possessions or less, right? So if you just do that, that's a 14-point swing both ways. That's more like Omaha football, and that's what I expect this weekend.
What are you going to do this week besides prepare for the championship game? You've been in Omaha now for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I'm going to eat, man.
I was going to say,
I'm
what
going to eat.
restaurants this week?
I'm
Just live it on
I'm gonna-
do you miss
need a blog.
do you miss like some home cooked meals at this point? You probably do, right?
Absolutely not. The food is amazing.
Absolutely not.
We've got a new food partner in Smokey J's Barbecue over on 13th.
Ricky's going to have more food partners next
Go
week.
visit that on Thursday. I got some amazing mozzarella sticks here at Let It Fly. I'm going to eat all week. Voodoo taco for the quesadilla win tomorrow. I mean, I'm going to eat and practice. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that's literally what it takes in this business. I mean, you have food sponsors, you're the best players.
It's golden, right? It's
That's
golden.
as good as money.
I will tell you, Ricky Burtz and his front office of the team here at Omaha make sure I eat very, very well. I would just like them to throw a few vegetables on my plate, but I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Coach, anything you want me to tell the officials for you? Because you can't say it.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
That might be a whole other segment.
Wouldn't he have to say it to you, though?
Okay, send me a note.
I will.
Good luck this week.
Thank you, guys.
We look
Appreciate
forward
it.
to having you hit next week and getting ready for the championship
Yes,
game.
sir.
We expect that.
Yep.
We expect everybody to be down here 6 o'clock next Monday night. Good luck.
Let's do it.
Night.
All right. Thanks,
All
guys.
right, we'll be right back. We'll bring DJ K-Dub in. We're going to bring back... we'll find out what's going on at the watch party. I assume it's chaos. We had our own
Chaos.
watch party,
It was-
but I'm sure it's better at that one. Right?
We'll
We'll find out.
It would have
When we
been
come back.
tough to top our watch party.
That was a pretty good
That
watch
was
party.
pretty good.
Well, when we come back, it's Omaha Beef Coaches Show live from Let It Fly downtown.
Go Beef!
Welcome back. Let It Fly. This is our favorite segment.
The most entertaining part of this show happens during the breaks.
I'm sure they're recording it. They should have
Some outtakes.
And
Maybe Katie will put those together, and we'll have
Director's cut.
Director's cut at the very end.
Yeah.
Hey, we're still here. It's a postseason. We knew we were going to be in postseason this week. It's on my calendar. We're going to be here next week as well. I'll tell you what, though. You've been around, and you've been around some of the fans. Well, I guess you blew off this last.
No. I had a wedding.
You got
I had a wedding.
But you know what?
There was over 30 people. The rump roasters held it down. We had a DJ. We appreciate everybody that came out. A lot of people won gifts. We got people that if you got your tickets for today, go ahead and pull those out. We got 3 winners for today. Last 3 numbers: 419, 428, and 431. Make sure to see Jeff to get your winning prizes. 419, 428, 431. But
So we know you were working Saturday, but did you have an eye on the game?
I did.
Were you paying attention?
So I have to admit, the best part about being what I do as a DJ at a wedding is no one's behind me.
Right.
So I'm swiping back and forth. The bad part is it's downtown at an event center, and the Wi-Fi is what Wi-Fi is. I'm going to leave it there.
Yeah.
So I constantly had to refresh. But we did have the Carvers also keeping us updated. We appreciate the lifelong fans of the Omaha Beef that are willing to make sure that the people that don't get to watch it live want to get
Right.
the updates. So
Nothing
we
against the
appreciate
block
that.
parties. That sounds like great when you had 30 and we had 26 left. We had Ring of Honor attendees and
did.
everything at ours.
We did. Yeah.
But the home games are better.
They are.
Because of the playoff game. I mean,
Yeah.
They
you
are.
talk about 1 point, you talk about a deuce deciding it, and
You know
to the slaughterhouse.
when Coach said what he said about he didn't watch that kick, it reminds me of last year. I mean, I said it when we did the live show to revamp all the year progress in the big game when we watched it at Herd at Sports, is I didn't watch last year's last kick. When he was kicking, I was recording this way, I couldn't watch because I was a football coach, so I know how like those things go where you're like, just have it happen.
Right.
Just go. And then the sound that you hear is what you want to hear, and then the rest is curtains.
Last year's championship game is something I would like to relive and never relive again. At the same time.
Same time.
That's a whole different deal. It'd be nice to do the championship game a couple years ago. Where it kind of rolled through. But either way, you know everybody's going to give your best shot. Maybe it is a little bit of a blessing. The win streak isn't still out there, but bottom line, this is 2-time defending champions. One in the NAL, one in the CIF. You got to knock them off. But also at the same time, remember Columbus, they're coming off a championship too. So if they're in that championship game, coming off the AIF, might be a clash of champions. So
it's just a matter of just it's why they play the game, right? It's always said that cliche. It's why they play the game. No matter what, we'll know before the end of our game what the result of the other game.
will we?
Yeah, they start a half an hour before ours, so hopefully we should know.
Is that right? Why are they starting at 6?
Hey, it don't matter, but we'll take it.
Yeah.
And especially for you guys.
That's the first I heard of it. That's awesome.
I get the opportunity. I did reach out to DJ next one once we won, see what the scenario was there.
What did you just say? DJ what?
Next one, our in-game DJ.
Oh, okay. The DJ is a network.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Next one.
well, he's the game
Missed a
DJ.
couple shows this year.
I know.
Kind of went over.
So I will be filling in as the in-game DJ, so I won't be running around.
We are going to have our A crew. Is that what you're saying?
No,
What's on you if it don't work?
Dang. Oh, man.
No pressure.
No pressure on the atmosphere. I got you. I'll make sure
We
it's
will be monitoring that other game though while we're
We
doing
will.
it.
I didn't know it started before us. That's amazing.
What's the weather supposed to be like? Can people come out
70
before?
degrees indoors.
Okay, but outdoors. Or people should come out before?
You tell me.
I would say so, right?
Always come out, right?
Get out there, have some fun. It's the playoff Saturday.
80 degrees.
80 degrees.
And sunshine.
Let's tailgate before.
Should we?
We're going to do it.
Northwest corner.
We can do
Live
that.
broadcast?
Absolutely.
Northwest
What's going on
corner.
there?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Anyways, if you are around, we know there's a lot going on, but if you want to see, this is where it gets good. It's the playoffs. It is at home. Omaha's earned it once again. Saturday night, 6:35 kickoff. Colorado Spartans. Just side note, Omaha's never lost to them. Just saying.
Just saying.
We got to be careful with those just sayings.
Just saying.
Because remember, we were just saying we didn't lose for 900 days, and look what happened.
He doesn't.
Don't do that. Don't do
That's
that.
expectation.
We play Colorado. It's a third time. We already know it's not going to be easy, but those boys downstairs, they're ready. And here's how I know. You ready for this?
No,
You asked Coach what was different. Mm-hmm. It's a player-led team. You know why? I was sitting down there. Rock comes up and says, "Hey, Coach, can we start with defense first? We want to know and fix what we could fix first.
Okay.
And then move into the week." And what I like was...
Give them the ball first?
No.
Like that?
He wants to fix the stuff, the defense. And when a player comes to you and is led on that part alone, this tells me that this team is headed in that right direction, because some players let the coaches coach. Others let the coaches lead, but they're coaching by saying, "Hey, here's what we want."
So what do they need to work on, do you think?
You know, it's just consistency, right? And they're still building that trust of you have a rotation still going on between your D-line, your linebackers, and your DBs. They get in that rotation, it's all about the trust. And if they're asking to build on it, that tells me they want to build that trust.
It's a reminder, it's a big game. Obviously, the winner goes to the National Arena League Championship game. But Omaha, every game for the last 3 years, has had that target on their back. Every team comes in, they want to be the one to knock them off.
Yeah.
Beaumont, they want to see them in the championship game. Omaha,
They got to do their job, too.
that's right. Do their job. They'd love to knock Beaumont back out, but more importantly, they'd let Columbus do the job and host that championship game, too. So a lot on the line. It is a big game. It should be a good game if last Saturday is any indication what we're going to see this Saturday. Same two teams, Omaha escaped 35-34. They tee it up 6:35 p.m. Saturday night. Liberty First Arena, the slaughterhouse they call it. And we'll just assume they're going to win. If so, we're back here next Monday night. We'll get you ready for the championship game. We won't talk about
Where it's at. We don't know where it's at.
Right. So that's the plan right now. Everybody come out Saturday night. Tickets are on sale. Get in. DJ K-Dub, thanks, man. It's going to be fun.
Appreciate it.
Man,
Thanks for coming on.
I just won't be up there at halftime, but I know you guys will handle it.
For you. We'll make
No, he'll fill. You'll be on the break.
I'll be taking care of some of it. Appreciate if this somehow ends up being the last. We don't think it will, but Let It Fly Sports Park did great with us all year long.
Yes.
But we do plan on being back here next Monday night. Hope to see everybody out. Saturday night, this is what gets fun. For Jason Under, for DJ Kada, for the head coach Brandon Grove, for Ricky Burns, for everybody, John and Katie, man, they make us look good. Especially you.
They do.
They do.
We'll be back hopefully next Monday night. See you Saturday night, everybody. Take care.